ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्वसे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna, welcome back to the Bhagavad Gita study group. Thank you all for joining. Please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Last week we did the first 10 verses of chapter 9. In the first 3 verses, Krishna introduced this Raja Vidya, right? This king of all knowledge that he's going to talk about. He talks about the glory of this Raja Vidya, and he clearly states the qualification that we need if we want to get this knowledge. What is that qualification which Arjun had and which we all must try and develop if we want this knowledge? Non-envious, absolutely, anasuyave, excellent, right? So if we can get rid of envy, then we can run on our spiritual journey, right? So Krishna tells us that if we understand this knowledge properly, then he also gives us one more promise. You will be free from everything that is. First verse. If you understand this knowledge, this is very, very confidential knowledge. I'm going to talk about this knowledge to you because you're not envious. I'm going to give you Jnana and Vijnana. And knowing this, you will become free from everything that is ashubh. Yaj jnatva moksha se ashubhat. Everything that is inauspicious in our lives will go away if we take this knowledge to heart. Okay? Then Krishna uses a lot of beautiful words to describe this knowledge. Raja Vidya, right? Quickly please unmute and tell me the meaning. So if you've not understood the meaning, then we can quickly revise. Raja Vidya means?
King of all knowledge.
Very good. Raja Guhyam.
Secret.
Topmost secret. Very good. Pavitram idamuttamam.
Most pure.
Most pure, right? Most pure. Has the potency to completely purify us. Please remember, when we talk of Pavitram idam uttamam, we all know कि bhakti can burn our paap, right? But bhakti में इतनी potency है कि not just the paap that we have done now. Bhakti can burn the beej, the seed of paap which is there, which keeps growing all the time. Bhakti can destroy that. And bhakti can even destroy avidya, ignorance because of which that seed to commit some sin enters us, and then we'll end up committing sin. Right? So bhakti is so strong that it destroys avidya, it destroys bij, and it destroys papa. Okay? So that is how potent it is. That is why it is called pavitram idam uttamam. Pratyaksha मतलब क्या?
Teaching, practice.
Practice. You can actually experience everything that God is saying by personal application. Excellent. You can personally apply every word of what Krishna is saying in our lives. Dharmyam.
Religion.
Dharma. It tells us what we should do, what we should not do. Right? Understanding this Raja Vidya will help us understand our do's and don'ts in life. Susukham kartum.
Happiness.
The entire journey of applying this knowledge in our life is very sukh dene wala. Susukham kartum avyayam. Avyayam is?
Eternal.
Eternal. It does not change. Right? It does not change. Okay? Whichever time, whichever place, whichever circumstance, this dharma applies, and this dharma will take us through. Okay? Bhakti is so powerful that simply by doing thoda bahut bhakti, knowingly or unknowingly, we tend to become enlightened. Right? I'll tell you the story of our dear Narad Muni. Right? We know Narad Muni तो सबके गुरु हैं, है ना? प्रहलाद महाराज के गुरु कौन? नारद मुनि. ध्रुव महाराज के गुरु कौन? नारद मुनि. अम्बरीश महाराज के पास कौन आए बचाने? नारद मुनि. Right? We find that he comes in so many instances. But Narad Muni's own story, in his previous life, before he became Narad Muni, he was the son of a simple maid servant. Okay? He didn't have much education. He was born in a very, very sada suda family. Only advantage was, whenever his mother was serving others, Narad Muni also joined in serving them. Once it was Chaturmas, right? Chaturmas mein all these sadhu sant who normally keep traveling everywhere, in Chaturmas they decide to stay in some place because it's raining heavily, right? It's all mucky, they can't really travel. And so during Chaturmas, it so happened that some of these very pure saints, they came and they lived in the place where his mother was working. Right? So automatically his mother was serving these great saints. Narad Muni joined. Right? He said, "Chalo, main bhi aapka haath batata hu." So he also started helping his mother in serving the saints. Now in the 4 months of the saints living there, Narad Muni got very intimately associated with them. Sometimes वो खा के थोड़ा सा छोड़ देते अपने पत्तल पे. So Narad Muni would say कि please can I take your remnants? They'd say yes. Then Narad Muni would clean their dishes, he'd wash their clothes, and when he was free, he'd sit down and quietly listen to them. Okay? Just by doing itna sa seva to these Brahma Rishis at that point, Narad Muni became completely free from all thoughts of sin. Dheere dheere, as he kept serving them, he became more and more pure in his heart. So by simply associating with those sages, he developed an interest for hearing and chanting, for glorifying the Lord. Right? And that is what pulled him into devotional service. So, just by unknowingly serving some pure saints, Narad Muni, so immediately after that, after Chaturmas, the saints go away, his mother gets bitten by a snake and she dies. Chote se 5-7 saal ke Narad Muni does not grieve his mother's death. Says this is God's intervention because now God wants me to walk his path. If my mother was alive, then I would have been engaged in her service. I would never have been able to go. And so he takes even the death of his mother as God helping him walk his spiritual path. And then he leaves and he, just gets no distraction whatsoever. He starts going seeking the Lord. And that is when God, एक आकाशवाणी होती है and God tells him कि not this janam you will not be able to get me, but next janam I will make sure that you are engaged in my service. And that is how, from being the son of a maid servant, by simply, unknowingly, innocently serving some sadhus, Narad Muni got the position that he did. Okay, so this is how purifying bhakti is. Anyways, in verses 4 to 10, Krishna spoke about his true nature, right? He talks about how he pervades the entire universe. He says, I am the basis for this universe ka origin, right? Its existence and its dissolution. And he says, because of me, Prakriti keeps the cycle of creation going. Prakriti is Krishna's energy and she is responsible for Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi, right? But everything happens according to his will. He does not personally do anything. He is not the doer, right? He is a karta, he is a bhokta, and he is completely neutral. Each one of us gets our birth based on our own karmas and our own previous desires. So Krishna very clearly says, look, I don't play favorites. Right? So that was the introduction that he gave about himself. Today, he is going to talk about the different ways in which we humans approach him. There are different categories among people, right? There are some people who just don't know God. They don't know anything about him. They are ignorant. We go right up till the extent where there are people who accept God as the supreme most with no doubt whatsoever, complete faith. And then the rest of us are somewhere in between. है ना? So today God will describe the different categories. So we'll start with the first category, the ignorant. We're starting from verse 9.11. Yeah, all of you got your books ready? 9.11, please repeat after me. Avajananti mam mudha manushim tanumashritam param bhavam majananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. Lovely. Subhalakshmi, please read the translation.
Fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the supreme lord of all that be.
Wonderful. Who is speaking? Krishna is speaking, right? Ishvara Parama Krishna. Right? That Krishna is speaking. And that Param Ishwar is telling us, Avajananti mam mudha manushim tanum ashritam. When I take a manushim tanum, when I take the body of a manushya, tanum means body, right? And manushya, human. When I take the body of a human, when I appear in human form, avajananti, मुझे बिल्कुल जानते ही नहीं है, मुझे बिल्कुल पहचानते ही नहीं है. कौन? मूढ़ा, foolish people, right? So foolish people do not recognize me when I come in the form of a human. In fact, because they don't recognize me, they disrespect me, they belittle me, they deride me, because they don't know my param bhavam, my supreme nature. And what is Krishna's supreme nature? Mama bhuta maheshwaram. I am the Maha Ishwar of all the bhutas, of all the living entities. I am the Lord of Lords. And yet, ignorant people do not see this truth. Unless we have some spiritual inclination, we cannot perceive spirituality. Correct hai? Right? I mean, a lot of us go to Kolhapur ka Mahalakshmi temple. Right? People go there, they count the pillars, they see the carvings, right? They see the goddess. But do they experience divinity? Not if you're not spiritually inclined. If you are spiritually inclined, then that beautiful Devi talks to you. Right? I know so many people, right? They go to Kedarnath, they go to Amarnath Yatra, they go to Vaishnav Devi, but they take it as a physical challenge to scale heights, then will you experience divinity? Of course, without knowing, when you do some, when you go on some yatra, you will get uska punya. But to actually experience divinity, right, at your inner core, then you have to approach with that kind of shraddha, right? God's nature is revealed only to the extent of our own spiritual awakening. है ना?
Pseudo spirituality.
हाँ, pseudo spirituality में कोई मजा नहीं है, right? Like I'm saying, you will get your punya karma, right? But you will not experience that in the core of your heart, है ना? जो तुमको सच्चित आनंद का experience देता है, that you will not have, right? I mean, if you think of Duryodhan, Krishna was standing right there in front of him, and still, what did Duryodhan choose? Narayan or Narayani Sena? He chose Narayani Sena because for him, Narayan was ordinary. Right? There were so many people who said, yaar, ye kaun hai? He's the mere cowherd boy. He's the not even born a Kshatriya. He's characterless. Hai na? So many stories. I mean, we know about Shishupal, right? Do people know the story of Shishupal? No? Not too many of you? Okay. So Shishupal is Krishna ke Masi ka beta. Okay. So when Shishupal was born, he was born with a deformity. He had an extra eye and he had 2 extra arms. Okay. So his parents were like very worried, very scared. Initially they thought his bachche ko rakhe, na rakhe, kya kare? But then as usual, Akashvani happened, right? A voice from heaven spoke. And they said, don't worry, your son will be very fortunate, right? He'll be very, very strong. Don't be scared. But just remember that the minute this baby is put on the lap of a person, जब इसके extra आंख और हाथ निकल जाएंगे, that person is going to be responsible for this guy's death. Right? So his deformity will disappear in the presence of one person. And that person will be the one who is going to kill Shishupal in the future. Now, all relatives were paying visit, when a baby is born. So, similarly, even Krishna comes. And just see they put Shishupal on Krishna's lap. What happens? The extra hands fall off, the extra eye disappears. Right? So, the deformities are gone. And so, according to prophecy, Shishupal's death is destined at the hands of Krishna. है ना? So now Shishupal ki maa is Krishna's Masi. She is miserable, right? She's crying and crying and crying. And then she says, Krishna, you have to promise me ki come what may, you will not kill Shishupal. Krishna is a very sweet chap. He says, look Masi, now Akashvani hui hai to hui hai. But I can promise you one thing, that I will forgive 100 mistakes of Shishupal. 100 mistakes I will forgive. But I will keep a tab. At the end of the 100th one, then I will kill him. And the Masi thinks, okay, yaar, itna thodi na badtameez hoga bachcha. 100 is good enough. But Shishupal grew up to be very arrogant, very cocky chap. And he hated Krishna from the very beginning. Right? Every opportunity he got, he was insulting Krishna. And Krishna kept warning him. It's not that Krishna was not warning him. See, dekha 10 ho gaye, dekh 12 ho gaye, 15 baar ho gaya Shishupal, watch your tongue. But Shishupal was Shishupal. Once, Yudhishthir organized a Rajasuya Yajna, okay, in Indraprasth. He invited all the kings from all the lands. So obviously even Shishupal was there. At that point, that Agrasthan, the position of the main chief guest to the event was given to Krishna. In fact, Bhishma Pitama had specifically said that this honor has to go to Krishna, right? And so Krishna is the chief guest. But Shishupal ko sahn nahi hota hai, because he is moodha. Avajananti mam moodha. Because he is foolish, he doesn't know how great Krishna is. Shishupal is very angry कि यार ये stupid सी Krishna को क्यों ये जगह दे रहे हैं, and so he starts hurling abuses. He hurls abuses at the Pandavas, at Bhishma Pitama, at Draupadi, and at Krishna. And Krishna keeps warning him. Everybody is upset. Krishna is warning him. But finally, Shishupal utters his 100th abuse. And Krishna takes his Sudarshan Chakra and kills Shishupal. Right? So that was the end of Shishupal. But it's a very touching end actually, because when Shishupal dies, Krishna says, may your soul be blessed. And he says, I loved Shishupal as much as I loved Arjun. Because I am very impartial. Remember, I am Udasinavad. I am very neutral. Right? But unfortunately, Shishupal could not look beyond Krishna just being a cowherd boy. Krishna not deserving the respect that he got. Shishupal was so full of envy. That is why we need to be anasuyave, free from envy. So when when Krishna came in the form of a human being, Manushim Tanum Ashritam, Shishupal did not recognize him. Shishupal had no love. He was full of asuya, envy. Right? So we must realize that if we have envy in us, we will not be able to progress on the spiritual path. It is only when we are free from envy that we can develop faith. And then we start seeing God in different people. In fact, one of the versions that I read, of course, Prabhupada's version says that when Krishna came as a human being, a lot of people did not recognize him, right? Did not recognize his superiority. But I read a version which I liked very much. It says कि Krishna is trying to say कि Manushim Tanam Ashritam, which means in Mayuri, in Indrajit, in Priya, in Umaji, in Krishna, in Sonal, in all these Manushim Tanum, Krishna has come. Right? And Mudhas don't see the Krishna in this Manushim Tanum. I like this explanation very much. It's true. We are ignorant and therefore we fail to see the same Paramatma in everybody. If we recognize the Paramatma equally in everybody, then we would be more compassionate, right? Then this society would have been a better place. It would have been envy-free, full of love, full of mutual respect, right? So who knows, maybe Krishna is actually talking about, please recognize me in all these human forms. And I personally like that explanation very much, right? So only mudhas, only foolish people do not recognize the Lord when he takes a human form and comes. Okay? Next one, please repeat the next verse. What happens to these people? 9.12. Moghasha mogha karmano mogha jnana vichetasaha rakshasim asurim chaiva prakrutim mohinim shritaha.
Those who are thus bewildered are attracted by demonic and atheistic views. In that deluded condition, their hopes for liberation, their fruitive activities, and their culture of knowledge are all defeated.
Thank you. Mogha Asha. Asha means desires, right? Hopes. Mogha means ये hopes कभी पूरे नहीं होते. They go in vain. Right? Mogha Asha means hopes which are unfulfilled. In this world, we are always constantly working for more and more and more. Mogha Asha means whatever we are aspiring for, that will not get fulfilled. It leads to frustration. Right? I'm working really hard. I want something better, something better, something better. But there is no point where I ever stop. Because jitna bhi aa jaye, I want something better. है ना, कितना भी पैसा, कितना भी bank balance, so many properties, nowadays of course so much of equity. Still, mogha asha. I'm hoping to be happy at a particular point in time, but that point never comes. That is moghasha. Mogha karmana. Whatever karma I do, whatever activities I perform, that also goes in vain. it does not lead to happiness. Refers to all the activities that I do which I have to leave behind and go. Prayers, right? I work like a mad person trying to accumulate everything that I can, knowing fully well that none of this is going to go ahead with me. It was so interesting. I was sitting with a friend the other day, and this is hilarious, right? This friend of mine, he's so scared of death. So I was trying to understand, like, why are you scared of death? And he says, यार मुझे इतना बुरा लगता है कि I have accumulated all of this in life and I'll have to leave all of this behind. So I meant, I said, you mean wife and kids? And he goes, no. I'm very detached as far as family life is concerned. I said, then what the hell are you attached to? And he says, यार वर्षा देखना ये जो इधर जो टेबल है ना, he has a really nice center table with some 4 pull out things to sit on, very pretty. He says, Varsha, तुझे पता है how much time I spent discussing this design and getting the architect to make this table, है ना? अगर मैं मर गया तो मुझे लगेगा कि यार 30 साल तो मैं ये टेबल यूज करता, कैसे ये टेबल वेस्ट चला गया. I was so horrified. I didn't know what to tell him. I was like, बेवकूफ आदमी, मतलब तू टेबल में फंसेगा. He says, don't you understand? हम कितने मेहनत में, कितने प्यार से ये सब चीजें करते हैं, है ना? Then he looked at his कुर्ता and he says, तुझे पता है मैं कितना सोच के, कितना घंटा इस पे सोच के, ये एम्ब्रॉयडरी करा के मैंने ये कुर्ता बनवा के लिया. I said, भाई तू मर. You are not somebody that I can ever understand, right? So this is what happens. Mogha karmanah. All these karmas, sitting with our architects endlessly and deciding on a stupid table, or sitting with our designer and designing our stupid kurtas. Do what you may, this is not going to go ahead. All of this is prayers. Enjoy it while you're here, but be okay when it goes. Please understand, this is not going to go with us, and therefore all these karmas are mogha karmanah. Right? So moghasha, mogha karmanah, mogha jnana. All the knowledge that is collected is also mogha, in vain. Because you've collected so much of material knowledge, but you've not bothered to collect knowledge that is going to lead you to the higher path. You don't have the discrimination between what is dharma and what is adharma. Right? All knowledge is wasted if you don't have fundamental knowledge. I'm not this body, I'm spirit soul. I'm eternally meant for God's service. Right? If I don't have fundamental knowledge, then all the other fancy material knowledge that I've accumulated is mogha. Mogha jnana. And because of that, because of, what did we start with? Mogha asha, mogha karmanah, mogha jnana. Because everything is mogha, going in vain, what happens? I become vichetasaha. My chetana becomes completely bewildered, completely baffled, confused. Because I am going only in the ulta direction. And because of that, Rakshasim Asurim Chaiva Prakrutim Mohinim Shritaha. Because I don't believe in scriptures, because I don't have any established rules and regulations in my life, I take to Rakshasim Asurim ways. I take to my evil instincts and I waste my entire human life. Right? Rakshasim means I'm constantly in tamogun. I'm in ignorance. I don't care about what is right or what is wrong. I don't care about anybody else's happiness. I only like to indulge myself a lot. I drink a lot. I sleep a lot. I eat a lot. Right? I'm a very dull person, angry for no reason. You've seen those people? ऐसे कुत्ते सोए हुए होते हैं and they pick up stones and they hit them. Right? Or they just, throw stones at flowers, at birds, unnecessarily. चलते रहते हैं, सुंदर से फूल होते हैं, they crush them. So, Rakshasim Asurim. Right? In fact, Rakshasim is when I'm in Tamogun. Asurim is when I'm too much in Rajogun. That is, I love bodily pleasures. Right? I love lusty, physical bodily pleasures. I'm intelligent, but I'm very manipulative. That means whatever is available, I want to own it. I want to enjoy it at any cost. I want everybody to praise me a lot. I want a lot of followers. I want everybody to be singing my glories. And at the first instant that doesn't happen, I give in to stress. I give in to anxiety. I'm always worried. Aajkal, I think social media is actually promoting this. How many likes did I get? Right? How many people shared my view? अगर कम हो जाता है, there's so much stress, there's so much anxiety, there's so much sadness. Right? So, unfortunately, we're getting dragged towards making unwise decisions in our life. So, Krishna says, Prakrutim Mohinim Shritaha. They take ashray of Mohinim Prakruti. Remember, Prakruti is of two kinds. There's Yoga Maya and there's Moha Maya. Yoga Maya is that which takes us closer to our spiritual goals. Moha Maya is that Maya which keeps us in this Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi. Right? Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam. Please understand the reason I'm doing this in so much detail is because I think each one of us should constantly keep checking. Is my behavior Rakshasim? Is my behavior Asurim? Right? We need to introspect. We need to pinpoint where are we going wrong in life. We all go through different situations, and there are definitely situations which bring out the worst in us. Right? Please notice there will be people in your life, situations in your life that unfortunately you try to be the best possible version of yourself. There is this one person who just knows कि वो कौन सी नस दबाएं to bring out the worst version of you. Right? So how do we protect ourselves? By being aware. I will not give in to my Rakshasim and Asurim tendencies. I will discriminate. Right? So Satyavati Mataji used to always tell us कि if you are in touch with Bhagwan Ji ka naam rupa guna leela, right, then you will be able to protect yourself from Rakshasim and Asurim tendencies. So naam rupa guna leela we can be close to if you're constantly in touch with Shastra, or if we go on yatras, or if we associate with other bhakta. Right? People who help us constantly take shelter of the Lord. Make sense? So please write these three somewhere. Shastra, Dham and devotee association. These are three things that will prevent us from taking to Rakshasim and Asurim tendencies. Clear so far?
Shastra, then what?
Shastra, Dham, मतलब यात्रा में जाओ, है ना? And association of devotees. These three things will always keep us protected. Even if we tend to give in to our lower modes, we will recover quickly. Right? We'll be able to figure out कि अच्छा इस वजह से I did something wrong. We will immediately repent, seek forgiveness and correct ourselves. है ना? Alright. Continue? Okay. Verse number 13 please. Mahatmanastu maam partha daivim prakrutimashritaha bhajantyananya manaso jnatva bhutadimavyayam.
O son of Partha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible.
So, Lakshmi, O son of Pritha. So, the mother is Pritha, the son is called Partha. Okay, everybody, we should know this. Like Vasudev is the father, Vasudev is Krishna. Son of Vasudev is called Vasudev. Okay, just simple things. All right.
Yeah.
Now, in the previous two verses, Krishna spoke about the Duratmas, right? The ones who are stuck in Mohamaya, right? The Asuras, the Rakshasas. In this verse, Krishna is talking about the Mahatma. Mahatma anastu mam Partha. Oh Partha, don't worry. You are a Mahatma because you have taken Daivim Prakrutim Ashritaha. You've taken Ashray, shelter of Daivi Prakruti, of Yoga Maya, of spiritual energy. Right? You, Arjun, you are Anasuyave. You are free from envy and you understand Ishvara Paramakrishna. So you have faith in everything that I am saying. Right? You are accepting that I am the creator, I am the maintainer, I am the one who dissolves at the end. Right? You are understanding Sarva Karana Karanam is Krishna. Right? And therefore you are free from Mohamaya and you are under Daivi Prakruti. In the 7th chapter, we had done a verse. If you surrender, Maham eva ye prapadyante, Maya metam tarantite. If you surrender to Krishna, then we can easily cross over Mohamaya. Right? Maya will not be able to touch us. This is material world ki jo Mahamaya hai. She will not be able to touch us if we are surrendered to the Supreme. So here Krishna is telling Arjun, I know ki you are surrendered. And therefore, Daivim Prakrutim Ashritaha. You are taking ashray of Daivi Prakruti, of Yoga Maya. And because of that, you and people like you, what do? Bhajanti Ananya Manaso. You worship me, you do my bhajan with your man not going anywhere else, with a very focused, unwavering mind. Right? The mind of people who have taken Daivim Prakrutim Ashritaha, these people ka mind does not go anywhere else. They have single-minded focus on Krishna and they worship him because Jnatva Bhuta Adim Avyayam. Because they know ki Krishna is the Adi, the origin of all living entities, and he is Avyayam. He is limitless. He is infinite. Right? Why is God called Avyayam all the time? Because aap kitna... Sorry?
Everlasting.
Everlasting, yes. And he is limitless, matlab, we can keep discussing Krishna Leelas. Okay? We can keep discussing, saying every story that we've ever heard or read. We will never reach a point where we will say that we've discussed everything about him. Because his glories are Avyayam. His Naam is Avyayam. His Rupa Avyayam. His Guna Avyayam. His Leela Avyayam. So the Lord is simply Avyayam. Kitne bhi aap ghante, din, mahine, saal, whatever, baith ki Krishna Leela karo, and there will still be newer and newer Leelas to talk about. Right? And that brings us to a very, very important verse. What does a Mahatma do? How can all of us become Mahatmas? Verse number 14. Okay? And every time I say this verse, I see Satyavati Mataji as a perfect example of this verse. Alright, verse number 14. Please dhyan se repeat karna, very simple verse, and I want everyone to try and learn this verse by heart. Okay. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dhrudavritaha namasyantascha mam bhaktya nityayukta upasate.
Always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me, these great souls perpetually worship me with devotion.
Perfect. This verse is really, really nice because God is telling us what to do and how to do it if we want to be Mahatmas. Okay? Satatam kirtayanto mam. मेरा कीर्तन करो, है ना? Keep chanting about me. How? Satatam, always. So first point, Satatam kirtayanto mam. Always keep chanting about me. First thing. Yatantascha dhrudhavritaha. Keep working really really hard. Okay, yatantas मतलब तुम मेहनत से काम करो. How? Dhrudhavritaha. कि when it gets difficult, don't give it up. Do it with determination. Right? Today's Ekadashi, 12 बजे तक निभ गई, उसके बाद भूख लगने लगी. No. Dhrudhavritaha. Be determined कि today I want to do this austerity to please Krishna. Right? So, yatantas, whatever you do in your spiritual life, do it with dhrudhavritaha, with determination. So, the first one, satatam kirtayanto mam. Second, yatantascha dhrudhavritaha. Third, namasyantas. Keep offering obeisances to me. Keep doing jai to me. Keep doing namaskar to me. How? Bhaktya mam. With full bhakti. है ना? कितनी बार हम लोग बच्चों को टप्पू मार के बोलते हैं ना, जय करो, है ना? So when the child does jay, slowly we have to start getting them to, भाई God you're great तो बोलना शुरू कर, है ना? With some kind of bhakti. Namasyantascha mam bhaktya. Namasyantascha mam bhaktya. Do namaskars to me with bhakti. Last, nitya yukta upasate. Nitya yukta. Always be connected with me and do my upasana. Upasana is worship me or, render service to me to show me that you love me in whichever way you can. Right? So, symptoms of a Mahatma. These 4. Satatam kirtayanto mam. Constantly chanting the glories of the Lord is kirtan. Right? Constantly having some Krishna bhajan going on or some, taking his naam at the back of your mind. Constantly. That is Satatam kirtayanto mam. Constantly chanting about his Nama Rupa Guna Leela. Yatantascha dhrudhavritaha. In bhakti, there are many, many activities that need a lot of determination. Even simple things like not having tea, coffee, chanting 16 rounds, not eating food that has onion, garlic, requires a lot of determination. And a Mahatma, a great soul, will very strictly observe all these rules and regulations. Right? Because they have faith that this is what is going to pull me ahead on the path of spirituality. Then, namasyantascha mam bhaktya. When you do namaskar to me, when you offer obeisances, please don't do it because you want something in return. Do it with bhakti. Do it with no ulterior motive. Just out of pure love. है ना? God is saying, yaar, please har baar है ना मांगते mata. Because I know already what is in your heart. है ना? अगर तेरे लिए वो ठीक है तो I will grant it for you. If it is not right for you, I'm just protecting you. So when you offer namaskar, stop always asking for something. Just offer namaskar because you're my eternal servant. है ना? Do it with love. Nitya yukta upasate. And in this way, constantly be engaged in serving me. Undertake different kinds of services. है ना? कभी कुकिंग करके भोग दिखा रहे हो, कभी मार्जनम कर रहे हो, क्लीनिंग वीनिंग कर रहे हैं, कभी फ्लावर गार्लैंड्स बना रहे हैं, अभी गणपति जी आ रहे हैं तो मोदक बना रहे हैं, है ना? गाने गा रहे हैं, भजन कीर्तन कर रहे हैं, कभी पढ़ रहे हैं. Whatever you do, connect all your activities to the devotional path. Right? When you're serving the poor, when you're serving somebody who's not as fortunate as you are, when you're serving somebody who's in ill health, what are you doing? You're doing upasana of the Lord. Because manushim tanumashritah. If we can see the Paramatma in that person and serve with our hearts, then what we're doing is Bhagwan ki upasana. Right? So can I have a few of you please repeat this verse? Who would like to repeat after me to try and learn it? Not if you already know it. New person who does not know the verse and would like to learn this. Come on. Priya, you already know this verse, huh?
No. I am not here for repeating.
You don't? Okay, chalo. Okay. Everybody try and say it. Okay, Priya, you repeat now. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dhrudavritah namasyantascha mam bhaktyam nityayukta upasate. See, our immediate goal now should be bettering ourselves on this spiritual path, right? Sorry, Priya, you had another question?
Yes, I want to
Tell me. Ask.
Because generally here in ISKCON, can I ask it now regarding this part?
Yeah, please do.
Manusham Tanumashritam.
Yeah.
It is in relation to these two concepts. The thing is, generally when we say we have to see the right place, time and the circumstances to, help others. That's what we see it in 16th, 17th chapter, right? But when you are saying that, when you see some unfortunate people, you are asking, you are just sharing that we have to see the Paramatma in them and we have to help them, and that is what Manusham Tanumashritam. How should we understand this?
So, darling, very simple. I'm still not in favor of, है ना, कोई beggar तुमको रास्ते पे दिखता है तो उसको 20 रुपया दे दो. I'm not at all in favor of that. That is not really helping a person, right? In fact, you have to be very careful when you do charity, because if your charity is going to lead to him collecting all those 20 bucks and going and drinking daru, you're ultimately responsible for it, right? So when I say help the less fortunate, I don't mean take a shortcut of chalo bhi maine isko 20 de diya, mera to punya karma ho gaya. Yes, you will get punya because you've given charity. But have you done wise charity? No, you've not. Right? When I say help the less fortunate, there are, let's say the person who helps you at home, right? Your staff, right? We in India get the cheapest labor, right? They work for us like slaves. और वो 2 दिन की जगह अगर उनके 4 दिन छुट्टी हो जाते हैं तो oh my God, we are such monsters. So I'm saying no. See the Paramatma in them, empathize. है ना? Understand and help in whatever way you can. Of course, our generation is actually doing a fantastic job. I realize that nowadays, I see around me, we're very grateful to our staff. We're very kind to our staff. We treat them well. But still, if you actually think of how much we pay them for the kind of work that they do for us, I think we're terrible, right? But all I'm saying is in whatever way we can, right? Let's try and be empathetic. Let's be sympathetic where required. And let's better their world. I don't know if you're in that group yesterday. It was so touching. So in between, I had done this little teachers training session, right? Where I said how you can go ahead and teach children, right? And this one lady, while she's teaching children, her housemaid has learned a verse. And Roma has taken a video. तो वो भाई बर्तन घस रही है और वो भगवान का श्लोक बोल रही है. Can you imagine how fantastic that is? Then I saw Geeta, who's an eye surgeon, her staff in her hospital, right? Your reception staff or whatever. Her receptionist has learned shlokas from Geeta. This is the best kind of charity that we can do, right? This is the best daan. And of course, in the 16th, 17th chapter also, what you see, Priya, is being very careful that you don't give tamasic or rajasic daan. Right? So when you help the unfortunate, Om Tat Sat, and give it to deserving people, because you're responsible. Because of you, somebody shouldn't go and smoke more or drink more. Right? So yeah, so you have to be very careful about that. That is man. In fact, because you see the Paramatma in him, you're not encouraging bad habits. Granth Raj Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Thank you all for joining.